Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I haven't talked to the medical staff yet, so I don't have any updates on any of that stuff.
It seemed like he wanted to go in, and then he came out. Like, can you kind of walk us through what happened there on the sideline?
Yeah, with anything that has anything to do with the head is out of our hands there.
Kind of a weird game where you scored 33 points with your backup. The defense forces 5 turnovers, but you still lose. Just curious what your biggest takeaway is from it.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I have to be able to watch the tape and tell you everything what happened, but just sloppy. Sloppy with penalties, sloppy with too many men on the field, sloppy with our fundamentals. And when you play a good football team like we played today, and you're sloppy, regardless of how many turnovers you force, it's going to be hard to win. And I think, what I said to those guys is like when it's sloppy with every piece of that, that's always going to be on me as the head coach.
Well, first, you mentioned there you had the two CJ unsportsmanlike penalties. Jalen had another one a week after. That was kind of the theme this week for you and discipline with Jalen having the unnecessary roughness penalty a week ago. Where are you with talking to the locker room about those kinds of things, and how do you get that fixed?
Yeah, we talk about everything. We'll talk about it again tomorrow. We talked about it on the field right there as it happened. Again, if it didn't get fixed, though, that's always going to be on me. They got to be better in those scenarios, and I got to be better in those scenarios to help them. So again, we look at this as an opportunity to get better for them because we know we need to. We know we need to get better from the things that we messed up today.
Did you get an explanation of what he was, the second penalty, why he was like?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into any conversations I have with the referees or players or that. They called what they called, and that's again, we all have to be better there. It starts with me.
First impressions
on the Case touchdown. What's your understanding for what was happening defensively there, where he got left open?
Yeah. Again, like I talked to you guys about, like best way to play good defense is everyone be on the same page. So I'll have to watch the tape. I'll have to see what happened there. We had a substitution that wasn't good enough there. Like I said, I had some penalties and some sloppy play today that cost us, and so. I'll have to look at that part of the tape, but we obviously busted the coverage. That's how he's wide open. So not everybody being on the same page, and again with the substitution there. So we'll look at that, and we got to get better from that.
Your first impressions of how Kenny played, how he persevered in a difficult circumstance.
Yeah, I think he did some nice things. Again, we'll have to look at the tape and kind of see everything. But he did some nice things. I think on that last drive when we're down, I believe it was 1 point. Really good job by him on 2 4th-down conversions. Smitty made 2 big plays on that drive, or made a big play on the 4th-down conversion. AJ made the other one where he was able to slip it, but Kenny was under control and, did some nice things today.
On kickoffs, was the plan to kick short?
No, again, the weather right there, you can look at kind of what we've done in the past and where we've been on touchbacks and everything like that. The ball wasn't traveling quite as far today, and that's where we kicked them today.
What was the nature of the interaction with Zach Ertz after the game? It looked like he was pretty...
Just say, congrats. Both of us said congrats to each other. And,
When Jalen Hurts left the game, it's obviously much more difficult to run the ball the second one. What were they doing differently, or were they just keying on him?
Yeah, hats off to Washington. They had a good plan, did some really good things, made it hard. Some muddy runs. We were able to get some good yardage running the football, but it wasn't quite consistent enough for our standard. But they got good players, they got good coaches, and they give them credit today.
To lose a starting quarterback is chaotic to say the least. Look, how do you manage accountability on a Monday after this, and how much of that do you credit to the team as you're trying to get through a game in a situation like this?
Yeah, we'll go back to work regardless of who played in what situation, and we'll everybody from myself to the coaches to the players will hold ourselves accountable. I think you heard Smitty talk to you guys, and him taking accountability. That's what gives you great hope in this team is that everyone wants to get better. Everyone wants to take accountability and get better from the things that they do. Accountability doesn't change though based off of your result. right? I'd be a hypocrite if I did that. So accountability for myself and for the team will be the same as if we were a win or a loss or 10 wins in a row, 1 loss, 5 losses, or whatever it is. We're going to go back to work and we're going to do the same things we do, and we're going to try to recreate our habits of what gets us in these scenarios in the first place.
The play where Pickett shuffled the ball forward, it looked like he got hit on that play. Did you happen to have a conversation with him about whether he could continue, and do you think he's okay going forward?
Well, he went back in, so tough. Like I said, I haven't talked to the medical staff yet, but he went back in and made some really big plays in that next couple drafts.
Two more, please.
What about adjusting on the fly when Kenny comes in? I mean, because he's obviously a much different quarterback than Jalen as far as being a +1 and everything. How, what's that like as far as having?
Yeah, there's nothing we leave to something to do on the fly. I mean, there's at times you obviously have to adjust different things, but we go into a game with a plan. If that were to happen, we go into a game with a plan. If both guys were to go down and Tanner were to be in, that's just something you go through on your weekly process. So, again, that's not something that's a on the fly thing. That's something that's been discussed all week.
With fortunate offense,
Last one.
How do you look back at that 3 and out there in the fourth quarter?
The one before our drive when we were down.
After Reed's interception, when 55 seconds.
Oh, that, yeah. Again, we were. I think the first play we lost some yardage, then we completed one to AJ. And then we passed it to Smitty. So I thought we were aggressive. I thought Kellen did a good job of calling it there, being aggressive. At the end of the day, they made one more play than we did on that. I didn't. Looking at that part, I'll have to go back and look at it and just our sequence there. I liked how we, went about it to, I think a lot of times you'll see teams maybe run there. We were going to be aggressive in those scenarios. That's how we've been able to run a lot of the clocks out. We just didn't do it this time.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.